Okay, so you guys, you ready for this? You're not going to believe this. The
The
Simpsons is a
Simpsons.
show that's like predicted the future more times than we can even count.
Right.
It might have just, get this, predicted its own ending.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Did they, though? Because the season 36 premiere, it had everyone thinking, like, whoa, are we witnessing, like, TV history? Is this the end of an era?
I know. Like, picture this. You're just sitting down, ready for your weekly dose of Springfield, and bam, Conan O'Brien pops up
Oh, my God.
on the screen.
Hmm.
And he's saying Fox is pulling the plug.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a shock, right?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, people were freaking out. There were tweets, like actual tweets of people sobbing over their cereal, thinking it was over, like The Simpsons was over.
And can you blame them? Like, this is a show that's been on the air for, what, like, most people's entire life. I mean, it's, like, basically a cultural institution at this point.
Right.
So to have the creators just play on everyone's expectations like that, especially, with everyone obsessed with these big dramatic finales these days, it's kind of genius, really.
Totally. And it wasn't just Conan either. They, like, went all out with this whole finale thing, fake clips that looked like they were straight out of The Sopranos
Right.
with Principal Skinner retiring, Moe shutting down the bar.
Yeah.
Like all the classic finale tropes, They even threw in a joke about the episode being written by AI.
Which, honestly, whole other level of satire right there, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've got the whole media landscape, the anxieties about AI taking over creative jobs. It's very meta. But let's focus on the parody itself for a sec. Did they nail it? Was it a good, was it a spot-on send-off, or did it feel kind of off? I'm actually really curious to hear what you thought about this.
Right. It's like, were you laughing? Or were you, like, low-key freaking out a little bit? Because it was The Simpsons messing with us, sure.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how much power these worlds have over us,
Totally.
We invest so much time, so much emotion. Of course, we all want a good ending. But then it's like, what even makes an ending good anyway?
Yeah.
Especially for a show that's been a part of our lives for so long.
For real.
Like The Simpsons. It goes way beyond just this one episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us to the big question, right? The lurking under this whole fake finale thing.
Yeah.
Is The Simpsons actually nearing its end? Like,
Yeah.
for real this time?
Well, I mean, the internet definitely seems to think it might be the beginning of the end. Yeah. You see that phrase thrown around a lot, like, they jumped the shark.
Yeah, the jump the shark argument.
Right, exactly.
And, I mean, I get it. Like, every fan, especially if you've been watching for a while,
Yeah.
you've got your favorite era, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it's just interesting, don't you think, how often The Simpsons comes up in this whole decline conversation? Like, back in the day, those first seasons,
Yeah.
it's like pure comedic genius, lightning in a bottle.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But it's like, can any show keep that up forever? I don't know.
Right. Does make you wonder. And it's not even just about the jokes, right? I mean, The Simpsons, back then, it was, like, groundbreaking. I mean, they were doing stuff with animation that nobody had even, like, thought of before.
For real.
And, like, they were tackling, like, social issues, politics, everything.
That's
And
it.
they were doing it all with that, classic Simpsons irreverence.
Yeah. And let's not forget, like, under all that, there was still so much heart in those early seasons, too.
No, absolutely. 100%.
Like, yeah, Homer was kind of a goofball,
a lovable goofball.
but you always knew, deep down, he loved his family.
Exactly. Like, even with all the absurdity, those characters, they had depth, But, I don't know, somewhere along the way, it feels like maybe the focus shifted a little, you know what I mean? Like, remember when they started doing all the celebrity cameos?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
first it was like a fun little bonus, right?
Yeah.
Now it feels like every other episode, there's a celebrity just kind of there.
Just kind of hanging out in Springfield.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they had to,
Right.
It's a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the humor, don't get me wrong, it's still funny, but
Yeah.
it feels a little more, like, reliant on those pop culture references now, the wacky antics like
Yeah.
we were talking about before.
Yeah.
The satire's still there, the heart's still there, but it's
Yeah.
buried a little deeper, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's not quite as sharp as it used to be.
Right. So I guess that brings us back to the question, doesn't it? Like, has The Simpsons just, I don't know, run its course?
That's a fair question.
Are the residents of Springfield ready for a little peace and quiet after all this time?
I know, right? Like, it's kind of wild to think about. As of right now, Fox hasn't actually said if they're bringing it back for season 37.
It's like maybe they're on the edge of their seats too, waiting to see what happens next.
Right. Or maybe, and hear me out, maybe this whole finale thing, it was like a strategic move.
Ooh, what do you mean?
Like a way to test the waters,
Yeah.
see how people would react if The Simpsons, like, actually ended.
Ooh, that is risky.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we are talking about a show that, they've never been afraid to push the envelope a little bit.
For sure.
Which, okay, this is making me think, like, if this really were the end, how do you even say goodbye to a show like The Simpsons? It's more than just a show. It's like...
A cultural phenomenon.
Yes, exactly. I
It's
mean,
everywhere.
it's everywhere you look, You see the quotes, you hear the catchphrases.
All the time. It's like its own language almost, and it connects people. Like, I don't know, I feel like you could be, like, talking to your grandma,
Yes.
and you could drop a Simpsons reference, and she'd know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. We've literally grown up alongside these characters,
Yeah.
I mean, we've laughed with them. Okay, maybe not cried with them,
Maybe a little.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've been there through the ups and downs. Like
Yeah.
that friend you've known forever,
Yeah.
They can always make you laugh no matter what.
Totally. 100%. And that's what makes it so hard, to think about saying goodbye, because how do you do that? How do you wrap up a show that's given us so much?
Exactly. The humor, the surprisingly heartwarming moments, let's be real, sometimes they got real, you
Yeah.
know? They talked about stuff,
Oh, yeah, they went there.
important stuff, and it worked. So it's like, how do you sum up all of that with one ending?
It's tough.
It's
Yeah.
almost like saying goodbye to part of yourself,
It really is.
So, okay, here's the big question. For you and for everyone listening, okay?
Mhm.
Let's say you walk into the writer's room.
Yeah.
Right? And you're in charge. What's your ideal Simpsons finale? How does it end?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. But honestly, for a
Tough one.
show that's all about, like, the crazy, the over-the-top,
Right.
I kind of think the best ending would be the simplest. Like, strip it all back, no guest stars, no huge, convoluted plot lines, just Springfield, the heart of it all.
I love that.
Right.
So, like, a quiet night in Evergreen Terrace.
Exactly. Maybe a family dinner at the Simpsons house, which, knowing them, probably descends into chaos because
Okay.
it wouldn't be the Simpsons without it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then maybe it just ends on a classic Homer line.
Ooh, that-
Something that makes you laugh, but also, like, kind of tugs at your heartstrings just a little bit,
Yeah.
Just a reminder that no matter what, no matter how much time passes, The Simpsons will always be The Simpsons.
Ooh, I love it. And on that note, we'll leave you all to ponder the fate of Springfield. We've talked about the good, the A, and the downright hilarious when it comes to The Simpsons. But at the end of the day, what happens next is still a mystery. But you know what? No matter what that is, the characters, those lines we all quote, those iconic moments, they're going to stick with us. Thanks for geeking out with us on this deep dive into The Simpsons. It's been a blast. And until next time, remember, don't have a cow, man.